Okay, so during the last lesson, we learned how to draw a rectangular box using desmos, and the equations are on the left. Some of you asked me, how do we color the box? Well, it's really easy. So if we look at the first equation, y equals to 40. All we have to do is change the equal sign to a smaller than or equal sign. There you go. We have managed to color the box. Why is it this way? This is because the y value is now smaller than 40, means that everything that's right below that line is included. However, if I zoom out of this, you can see that I'm not only coloring whatever that's below the line, I'm coloring everything that's out of the box and under as well. So this is not exactly what we wanted. We just want the whole box, which is up to the blue line, to be colored. So we need to know what is the y value of the blue line so that we can limit it. So if this value is 0, we know that the blue line is y equals to negative 40 because that's what's stated here. So we have to actually add another constraint where y is bigger than or equals to negative 40. So by adding another constraint, we can clearly see that the box is being colored. Also, during the first lesson, we learned about drawing a straight line. For example, y equals to 3x plus 10. Okay, I have to add in the y here. Okay, so y equals to 3x plus 10 is actually a straight line. However, in this situation, we can see that the straight line is going all the way up and all the way down. If we want to limit the straight line to be only within the box, okay? So if we want to limit the line to be only within the box, we know that the minimum y value is negative 40. The maximum y value is 40. So all you have to do is hover your cursor around here and you can see the value. So the constraint is negative 40 for y and 40 for the maximum value. So as you can see now, I'll just move this away. As you can see now, the line is within the box. Also, you can also be experimenting with like other equations so that you can draw other shapes and curves as well. So one person did y equals to xx, and you can see that a parabola is drawn. So y equals to xx is actually the same as y equals to x squared. So do you remember in class that I drew like two mountains? Okay, the mountain is also a parabola, but it has a different sort of direction and we have to sort of flip it down. In order to flip this down, we can add a negative in front of the x. Yep, but does this look like a mountain? Not really. Why is it that way? Because it's too narrow. In order to make it wider and wider, we have to decrease the value that's in front of the x squared. So, do you remember x squared is actually 1x squared? Decreasing the value means it needs to be a value that's lower than 1. So, for example, 0.5. 0.5 is a value that's below 1. And can you see the difference it makes to the curve? The curve has become wider. But that's not the actual size that I want. I want it to be way wider than that. So, I have to consider a value that's smaller than 0.5. So let's say I want a 0.04 and I'm happy about this. So this is the size that I want, but not the position. So I can move the position of my mountain by creating a bracket and actually adding something after, like a number after the x, to move it left or right. To move my mountain to the left, I can put a positive 20. Positive is for left and 20 is 20 steps to the left. Yeah, so I think I'm happy with that, but I need it higher. To make it higher, I have to move it up by putting a plus 25. So I think I'm happy with this, but as you can see, without the constraint, this is like out of the box again. So let's say I want it to be cut off here at this line. So this line is when my y is about negative 10. So if I put y is bigger than negative 10, only whatever that's bigger than negative 10, it's going to be shown. So I think I'm happy with this, but I really like to have another sort of like mountain to create a like sort of like a mountain ranges effect. So I'm just copying and pasting this onto the another line. Can you see that now a purple curve has been created, but it's sort of overlapping the green one, which is not what I want because I want it to be on the right side. And just now I said when you put a plus, it's going to the left. So now what should I put when I want to move it to the right? We have to put negative. So that's how I move the purple curve to the right side. But maybe negative 20 is a bit too far away and I want just negative 10. So I have created another mountain. Now that I've created another mountain, I sort of think that it's not really logical for the lines to like sort of cross each other, and I want to cut off this line. Okay, in order to cut off this line, I have to know what is this point because that's the intersection point. So can you see that this is x equals to negative 5? Yep, x is the first number in the coordinates. So x is negative 5. I only want whatever that's bigger than negative 5. So I will add in an additional constraint where x is bigger than negative 5. So there you go. I've drawn an overlapping sort of like mountain without having this here, without having the line here. Okay, if you remember from my class, I also drew like some waves below the mountain, like an ocean in front of the mountain sort of like feel. Okay, what I did was I used y equals to sine x. Yeah, so that's the wave that's being formed because sine is a wave. However, okay, we don't want the wave to be right up here. I want it to be like right at the bottom of my mountain, which is here. So in order to shift this down, we have to put negative 10 because do you remember this is where I want it to be, and that's negative 10 because this is negative 50. So I want to move it to right here, right below the mountain. So I will have to put negative 10. And now it's sitting really nicely right below my mountain. Okay, and I also did, yeah, I forgot to put in the constraint. So we can do the same thing like what we did just now, so that we can truncate the waves where we don't want them. So do you remember this is 60? X has a minimum value of negative 60 and a maximum value of 60. So in order to add the constraint, we have to put a negative 60 minimum value and that's for x, and a maximum value of 60, and there you go. I drew the waves below the mountain. And do you remember my waves are sort of like, there's like two layers. It's really easy to draw two layers because all you have to do is copy the wave. The wave is the black line, which is this one. Copy and paste. So by doing that, I have created the same exact wave that is right on top of the black one. This is not exactly what I want. I want the waves to be like slightly lower. So slightly lower could be a value that's slightly smaller than -10. So let's say -11. So now can you see that I've created like two waves, like one above and one below? Yeah. And also I drew a sun right above the mountain. In order to draw a sun, the sun is actually a circle. To draw a circle, we need to have x squared. Okay, I just pressed the wrong button. X squared plus y squared Okay, I'm so sorry. I think my computer has hanged. So today it's up to this part. And if you really want to know how to draw a circle, I'll add another video. Thank you. Bye-bye.